Okay, so we are live now. Everybody that's joining us, as you are seeing this, whether you're watching live right now, whether you're watching the playback, thank you for joining us. This is our third PenPal session. So the PENS program stands for Providing Educational Needs and Support. And so the PenPal program is uh, actually an organization rather. Well, I wouldn't say organization. It's not an organization, but it's a branch of the PENS program. And so PenPal is specifically a mentoring initiative. And so in this mentoring initiative, we thought about bringing people on like our good friend and good sister here, Daisha, who has started a relationship. We started a relationship with her just through some achievements that she's accomplished and us being able to see, hey, this may be something. And honestly, we don't know how this came about, but we're going to talk about it. So if you all are watching this now, later, or maybe even 2 years from now, please do me a favor and tell somebody, hey, come to the screen really quickly and come hear what Daisha has to say, right? All right, so before I move any further, as you all know, I am the founder of the PENS program, and we have Daisha on, so I want her to introduce herself before we go into the conversation. So Daisha, please tell the people that are watching who you are.
Hi, everybody. I'm Daisy Gooden. I am currently 18. I go to Pitt Community College, and I'm here just to share some knowledge with you guys.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Give me give me 1 second because she's here to share some knowledge, and we want to make sure that we get the knowledge that she's sharing. 1 second. Okay, I'm coming. I'm just sharing this YouTube link for everybody.
Okay.
YouTube link. All right. So, Daisha, can you let them know what, if you haven't said it already, what school you're attending, what's your major, expected graduation, career path, transferring? Are you thinking about doing that? Can you just kind of go through that really quickly?
Gotcha. All right. So I am currently attending Pitt Community College, and my expected graduation date from Pitt is actually 2022 in the summer, well, around the summer area. I am currently majoring in marketing and business.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I am hopefully to transfer out to either Winston-Salem State University or East Carolina University, one of the two. I'm kind of toggling back and forth right now. Um, but yeah, I'm actually really excited. I do work. Also, I have an upcoming business that I'm starting.
Okay.
Um, so I am using my marketing and everything that I'm learning from school and within my business. So yeah, I'm very excited. And well, a little fact about me. I wasn't supposed to major in, well, I was supposed to major in business, but I really wasn't thinking about majoring in marketing. But mass communications was originally what I wanted to major in, and probably political science when I was in
Mm.
high school. Those were my two that I wanted to major in, but that changed. So, and then I also want to be a chef. So, I have a lot of things that I'm going through right now.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's that's how we all kind of get through this thing together. Because as you can have a couple majors at first,
Right.
and then your heart may change to something else. So we've all
Absolutely.
been there.
Yes.
We all been there. So you came out of high school, right? And so when you came out of high school, your thoughts were that you were gonna even though you were in a 2-year college, I'm pretty sure that you envision yourself going into classrooms. I'm pretty sure you
Yeah.
saw yourself getting acclimated or getting familiar with professors in person. And so you
Yes.
graduate in 2020, right?
Hmm?
You graduate 2020. Well, even before you graduate, uh, the pandemic starts in March. So
Yes.
you're like in your senior year, pandemic starts, you don't know what's going to happen, but still in your mind, you probably like, there's hope for us going on campus. I can just only imagine what you're envisioning. Then the pandemic continues. You are now going into the summer of 2020 with this mindset that I may not have a regular college student experience. Now, I'm coming from a place where even in college, these last 3 years, I was on, I don't want to call high school campuses, but you can. I was on the high school campus and I got really familiar with my friends, and all I know was in person engagement. So we're
Right.
talking about summer 2020, fall 2020 comes, and now we're fully virtual.
Yep.
No in person classes, no in person engagement, no in person assignments or even discussion. Everything is virtual.
Yep.
How did that impact you?
Okay. All right. So this is a pretty broad question. So I'm gonna have a broad answer, guys.
Okay, okay, okay.
So I've been asked this question multiple times. I actually was interviewed for the newspaper in Kinston about this same exact question about how I felt, about the pandemic and going into different things. So, about I said a few months before I decided exactly what school that I was going to,
Mm-hmm.
um, it was a big thing for me whether I was going to go off the school or if I was just going to attend the 2 year and then end up transferring out. So my final decision was I felt like the best decision for me and maintaining different things for myself was to go to a 2 year, just following God's plan for my life. And a lot of people had a lot to say about me going to a 2 year because a lot of people expected me to go off to a 4 year automatically. But that just wasn't the best plan. And literally 3 to 4 months later, the pandemic comes
Mm,
and everybody's like, oh my goodness,
mm,
Daija, it was such an amazing idea that you decided to stay home because college campuses, there's no college life currently. There's no campus life currently. You know what I'm saying?
yep.
The essential vibe that you would get from college is no longer there. Everybody is virtual. So currently my current mindset is I'm so thankful that I did actually end up going to a 2 year. For one, it just saves money. It allows you to explore, like we said earlier. It really allows you to get a chance to understand yourself because when I was coming fresh out of high school, political science and business were the two things that I was really looking at. And now look at me, I'm in marketing and business. So it really gives you a chance to explore what you really and truly want to do. It
Yeah.
gives you a chance to grow a little bit more in a, more enclosed environment, and it allows you to, you know, get to know you more in a deeper way because when you're constantly surrounded by other people, they could possibly affect how you naturally grow. So I
Mm,
definitely thank God for the process of me allowing to just be here growing and experiencing. And I feel like now if I were to transfer out, it would be a much better process. It was a definitely a big change. Because see me, I'm a very hands-on learner. So
right.
being in class, being there, getting the assignments, that was how I kept going. So I had to essentially change my whole thinking process with virtual. So yeah.
No, that was a multifaceted response, which I love, and because you said something that I think that we can uh, probably get from you as far as the approach to marketing. So
Right.
since the pandemic, a lot of people had to reframe their marketing approach to be more appealing to people. And I'm sure with you being in marketing, I'm not sure if you are in your major courses yet, but I'm pretty sure that you know that you've heard about the trends of people,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
what markets to get into or what types of businesses should we partner with to expand our reach and et cetera. So you just being a freshman marketing student, and we're in the pandemic now, what has been some of the things that you've seen that people can do differently with their marketing,
All
whether
right.
it's their personal
So,
brand, business brand, or anything?
right. So I definitely can speak on this because we've seen from March of 2020, we've seen almost everybody start a business or something just
Correct.
because, yeah, just because due to the fact that, people are letting people go naturally since it is a pandemic. So we've seen all of our friends start up businesses and different things like that. So really, business and having a business is really oversaturated.
Mm,
Everybody feeling the same thing, different
yeah.
things like that. So your marketing approach definitely has to be different and diverse. So
Right.
I would definitely say that you have to set yourself apart from everyone else. I saw it. This is actually crazy that you asked me that because I was looking at a post that I posted around this time last year, and I was telling everyone, I was like, "You guys, you have to be the best. You have to have the best business cards, the best flyers. You have to set yourself apart. Make sure that your color scheme is nice. Make sure that it's appealing to the eye. All of those things play a factor in how you grasp someone's attention, or as we call it, the consumer's attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
definitely make sure that whatever you're selling is appealing to who you're trying to give it to. So,
Yeah. No, I get it. And I think that even when you talk about business cards, it's like, how do I put my business card in a virtual format? Because now I
right.
can't even run into people and give my business card out because we're still in this COVID sensitive time. And so how do I create
Yep.
a virtual business card, or should I now make sure that my information that I'm putting on the social media platforms that I'm on could reflect a virtual business card? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
just having all those things in mind, that our social media is now the marketing tool per se, when it comes
Yes,
to
absolutely.
branding yourself, you know, and even getting more savvy with like a LinkedIn. If you don't have a
Uh,
LinkedIn, it's like, hey, let me introduce myself to LinkedIn, right? Because LinkedIn
yep.
is like the business or corporate side of Facebook almost.
Yep.
So I want to ask another question, because you said something about how a lot of times we can get around people and they can influence us in a way where it won't allow us to really dive deep into who we are. What does that mean to you when you think about people being influential and really pushing you more away from who you are rather than pushing you towards who you
This is another one that I can speak a lot on.
are? Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so we all have those people that we absolutely love, we enjoy being around, but me personally, I have witnessed myself reaching a plateau when it came to growing.
Okay.
Um, so currently, right now, I am. Well, a couple weeks ago, I say for about 3 or 4 weeks, I deleted all social media, and that for me is like a lot because I advertise up there. I stay connected with different people as far as business and even just family. I stay connected with a lot of people on social media, but I
Okay.
deleted my social media because sometimes seeing other people and how they live their lives, it can get into your mental and you're just like, oh, I wish I was there. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But in reality, you really could be doing better than the next person if you just stay on the straight and narrow and you just focus in. Um, I know that just seeing where other people are, it really could affect your mindset, and even just being around people that aren't growing as fast as you. And it's not to say that you don't love them and that you don't have good friends in them, but sometimes it takes being separated and set apart from people for you to grow. And I know that's what it took for me. Me just not being around all of my friends, me not being around what I was used to, getting myself out of that comfortable mindset and that comfortable place that I was in, and just completely diving into the unknown,
Yeah.
really. And I feel like sometimes that's the absolute best place that you can be, is the unknown,
Mm,
because you have no familiar, nothing is familiar around you, and sometimes
right.
that's the best place to embrace yourself and to embrace greater depths of growing. So, and I'm in that space now, so I definitely can speak on that, because just being in that area, it allows you to grow without, having the weight of being like the world. And a lot of people, they try and say, oh, you're doing this, or you're no fun, or anything like that. But sometimes when you're growing, it isn't fun. So I definitely am in that space now, and I encourage anybody that is doing the right thing, continue doing the right thing. It's going to pay off in the end. And yes.
You gotta start preaching one time. I didn't know if we need to just stop and give you an offering. I said, wait, are we talking right now, or is she preaching me? Because
Oh my god.
I I feel like I feel like going to my Cash App. So I didn't know what my next move should have been. I'm like in between saying amen or you're right. So I didn't know
Oh my
which
god.
comment to really use just then. But no, that's great advice, and I think a lot of people need that same advice. We actually had our first session was about mental health and Zumba, and so the young lady was
Yeah.
talking about how important it is to merge the two together, and how getting some sunlight, getting away
Yes.
from your phone, and
Yeah.
really focusing on things that matter, and like you said, not striving or competing with people that may not even have as much as you have, or may not be on the same journey as you. So it can kind of just derail you.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
that's great advice. So you enter your first year of college, and before you enter, as I know, and as you know, and Chris as well, I'm sure he knows, college can be pretty expensive.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
College can be a pretty penny, and so many different ways that you may not be aware of, like in high school, where some things may not have been that expensive, some things you may not have had to worry about. You don't have to worry about financial aid and student loans and book money and all these different things that you have to worry about. And so
Yeah.
I I am sure you ran into some moments where you were like, you know what, hey, this is expensive, man.
Yeah.
you know, I may need some assistance, even though I have scholarships available or other monies. And so let's talk about this relationship with the Pens program and yourself, because we're in this phase of going to college, people sponsoring you having monies come, and so now out of the blue, because you've never heard of the program, we've never heard of Deja Gooden, but glad that we've met, right? We've never heard of
Right.
each other, but out of the blue, you're like, okay, there's scholarship money available. All I have to do is apply for it. And not only is there scholarship money available, there's a story behind what I'm about to receive. How
Right.
was that experience? Because a lot of people may not know about us literally not knowing each other at all, never spoke
At
to each other,
all.
never seen each other. But just talk
Yep.
about that really quickly.
Okay. So the opportunity was actually presented to me by Miss Kelly, and she goes to my church, and
Okay.
she knew Miss Dina. So it was actually pretty weird how it happened. So she emailed me and somebody else that goes to my church, and she was like, hey, you guys apply for this, it's a really good opportunity. So naturally, me, I was just like, okay. I was in a state where I was applying for everything, left and right, just
Wow. Yeah.
yes. So when that opportunity came about, I was like, okay, I'll get to it. And so when I definitely got to it, I was not
Wait 1 second.
expecting.
Wait 1 second, because we had to unpack that phase of applying for things left and
Oh,
right,
oh
because that
yes,
that can be exhausting.
yeah,
I've been there, and I know exactly how you feel, because that applying for things left and right, you can get to a place where you hit a wall, and you're like,
oh
you know
yes,
what? I've been applying. I haven't heard anything. Maybe it's just time for me not to apply. a little bit.
Right.
Let me take 2 or 3 days off from applying because my mind is so busy.
Yes.
So we have to unpack that phase first because
Okay.
sometimes people hear applying, and they don't know how intentional and intense
Right.
that phase can be.
Yes. So I can talk about this for so um in I said probably about in October we were applying to college in school. So naturally when we're applying for college we're also applying for scholarships.
Right,
Yeah, we have financial aid, but sometimes financial aid doesn't completely cover everything. So
right,
financial aid was a big thing, but scholarships was a big thing as well. So every time I saw a scholarship opportunity, I was on it. But it is exhausting because some of these scholarships they require you to write an essay. They require you to be present at some events. They
right.
require you to have a certain amount of volunteer hours. It's
Yeah,
a lot that goes into scholarships. And if you
right.
don't have those things, that's the moment where you have to make it up.
Yep.
So if you didn't have 50 volunteer hours, you got to call, hey, soup kitchen, can I come
There
in
you
on
go.
Sunday?
There you
Or
go.
call up an organization. Hey, can I pick up trash off the side of the road?
Yes.
What can I do? You have to make it up because you need those funds. So yeah, absolutely, it is draining. It is exhausting, and like I don't know if y'all caught it, but when I said I was applying for the PENS program, I was like, I'll get to it.
Right,
I'll
right,
get
right,
to
right,
it.
right, right, right,
But I'm
right.
so
I
glad
understand.
that I actually went to it and actually
Right.
got to it.
I look, I understand, man. That's a very critical phase. Some people don't know about it because when you're when you're entering college or when you're doing something and it seems like the opportunities are there, but you haven't heard your yes yet. All you
Mhm.
have been hearing is no. All you have been hearing is
Yes,
no after no after no after no. And so when you've heard enough no's, you don't even know what a yes looks like or even sounds like. And so
yes,
before you continue, you would say, I'm content with these no's and I'll just get to it when I want to get to it.
yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yep.
Because no has now been embedded into my responses that I feel like I deserve, and so you almost become that no, rather
Yep.
than seeking
Absolutely.
for that yes. And so
Yep.
like I can only imagine what maybe that was like a breakthrough moment for you. I don't know, you know,
Right.
but I'll let you keep talking. I'll let you keep talking. I just want to chime in every now and then.
So absolutely, Demetri, like definitely a breakthrough moment. I have received actually I have received one or two scholarships, but I did not know about those scholarships until graduation. So
Mm,
the day of graduation, so I had been applying, but everybody was making their Facebook posts. I have $100,000 in scholarships.
yeah,
I didn't get that
yeah,
opportunity, and
yeah,
that sometimes can weigh you down and weigh your spirit down. Like I haven't got anything. And I didn't know that I had scholarships until the day of graduation. So I'm
wow,
crying. I'm like, where did these come from?
wow,
I'm
wow.
so delirious. But it's amazing that the PENS program came along right in the nick of time when I needed it. I
Mm,
needed it. You know what I'm saying? And it because college life gets tough, paying for things and not only just paying for books and tuition and different things like that, but just trying to work and
yes,
maintain your
yes,
at home life is a lot.
right,
So it's it definitely was a breakthrough moment for it was definitely a prayer that was answered. So
yeah.
for sure, it like definitely a breakthrough moment. That's all we can say.
Yeah, and so to even think about your story outside of your success as far as you going to college, but even some of the things that you and my aunt had in common as far as like
Yes,
the issues that she's dealt with, prior to her sickness or prior to her passing away, it's like the
right.
stories that were so similar. So how was that hearing? Okay, cool. I have some scholarship money now from a program that I never heard of before.
Yeah.
But not only do I have money available, but this guy is talking about a story that sounds familiar. So
Yes.
maybe this is maybe it is a little bit more purposeful for this to have
Yes.
happened when it did. So how was that hearing that story and like we don't know each other from a can of paint. Never met each other a
Right.
day in our life.
Yeah.
So
A
how was
day in
it?
our life.
right, never. So how was it now? Not only having money, but then you're like, okay, there's a story to this scholarship.
Right, absolutely. So let me just go back to our first Zoom meeting that we had. It was like
Right,
we were family. Like it was just like an amazing moment. The love, the
and this is
support.
mid pandemic, and
Yes,
this is in the heart of the pandemic.
yes,
Like this is when everybody is quarantined,
yes.
seriously quarantined. So continue. I just want to kind of picture that, give it a whole picture because this is mid dead in the smack middle of quarantine. But continue.
Yes, completely in the middle of quarantine, and it was just so crazy how it went on. Like when I say it felt like we were in person with each other, but we're
Yeah,
virtual, completely virtual. The
yeah,
love was so it was just tangible through a computer screen, really. I don't know
yeah,
how I can really explain how it just felt like we just meshed so well. And with the
yeah,
stories, just pushing through adversity was the biggest thing that connected our stories together. And even
right.
about me being sick at one point, that was another thing that connected us together. And it was just like area where we were just here with each other, and it just was
Yeah,
perfect. It was I don't know how this came about. I don't know where this
yeah.
blessing came from. I don't know
Right,
where
right,
my
right,
extended family came from, but I am
right.
so grateful for my extended family. Yeah, I'm just super grateful, and I'm thankful that you guys saw my story and saw some of the issues that I went through to even compare them to
Mm.
compare. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
it was
yeah,
awesome. It was awesome. Just
yeah. And it made
yeah.
sense on both ends. It was like maybe we waited for her, right?
Right.
And we didn't even know that you had been experiencing the amount of no's that you had been experiencing. So it's like
Yeah,
maybe we wait
right.
for her because this story and my aunt's story it goes too well together. Like I mean, it's the
Too
perfect
well.
moment, right? It was like how would you even get these? It just goes well together. And so, Deja, this has been a great interview. Us discussing some of your challenges, some of your exciting moments in your first year. But I want to just ask a quick question because there may be a student at some point in time that is about to graduate. You know, he's class of 2021 or she's a class
Yep.
of 2021. And we're still in the pandemic. We're still trying to figure out how to combat COVID-19. We're still trying to figure out how do we, get into this new normal. And it can be quite depressing for some people to even want to dream or to pursue goals in a time where the goals and success don't look the same. You can't go
Right.
to a campus. You can't talk to your teacher. You can't go to the
Yep.
calf where everyone is playing music and laughing and joking and just the camaraderie. You
Yep.
can't do none of that. So, what would
Absolutely.
be your encouragement to that student that wants to go to college right now and their fear is it may not look the same as I thought it would? Two
Right.
part question, right? That's the
Okay.
first part. The second part is this: what is your encouragement to those that have been applying for something and all they have been getting is no?
Okay.
They've
All
been
right.
getting no after no after no. What is your answer to those two? And we're going to let you loose. And however you want to answer it, that's how we're going to receive it.
Okay. All right. So for the first part, I'm definitely going to say that change is absolutely necessary.
Okay.
It is imperative that you embrace change in every aspect of your life. It is imperative. If you have a mindset to where you're fixed, it's a fixed mindset, that's how everything is going to come in your life. But if you embrace change and
Yeah.
you welcome it with open arms, your things are going to fall in line for you. And even with college, I know it's different and you expect, a big campus life, different things like that. You expect, like Demetri said, to go to the calf and listen to that music and eat that fried chicken on Fridays. But but sometimes, I definitely feel like change has to be embraced. And another thing is changing your mindset not to think of what was, but to embrace what is now. So, and what I mean by that is that we have an idea of what things should look like, but instead we should embrace what things look like now and make that our new normal in a way. You know what I'm saying? Embrace the new ways of living. The last part of the question, when you've been receiving no after no after no, all I can say is keep the faith. Oh my goodness. And Demetrius said something earlier where he was like, it can almost seem like the no becomes you and you become the no. And so all I can say is just keep the faith, keep a constant relationship with God. Just always make sure that you never give up. And if it's your dream, I tell you to please continue to aspire after it. Do not give up, because if it is meant for you, it will always be for you. And those are my encouraging words.
No, that was great. That was great, man. Everything that you said is great, and how we shouldn't embrace what was, but to embrace what is, because
Yeah,
change is inevitable. And in some cases, what is may be more valuable and more beneficial to what was.
that's the one. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because a lot of times we may have missed opportunities because it was so much going on. I wanted to have so much fun that I wasn't focused on the main thing. And so right now, maybe a
yes,
time where I'm like, if I embrace this, my career may be accelerated the next 4 or 5
yes,
years.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
embracing what's
sometimes we
now.
Yeah, and sometimes we spend so much time thinking on how it should have been and how it was back then. Oh, my cousin, she had so much fun. She was in a sorority and things like that, that we
Right.
miss the moment. We miss the mark of the moment. And the
Mm,
moment is where the most amazing memories are held.
yeah.
So sometimes we just have to embrace it, like I said before, just embrace it and welcome it with open arms.
Yeah. And I think here's something too, even from a practical standpoint, that students are able to see now, if they dissect it properly, is that students are way more multifaceted than they've ever been.
Yes, for sure.
You like you literally are able to have a job, go to school, own your own business, uh, pay bills or do whatever you do, serving your church, serving your community. You're doing all of these things at the same time, you
Right.
know, and enjoying it,
Yes.
finding joy in it, finding purpose in it.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
I think even in this time, it's like if you scale it back, you're like, oh my God, I'm really doing all these things at a high level. I'm not being overwhelmed. I'm not being depressed. Maybe there's purpose in this season of my life. Like what is the purpose of this season? What is the purpose of a COVID-19? What is the purpose of, so I think from a practical standpoint, people are doing a lot of things at a high level and they're juggling it well. And I think that's what we're able to gain in this new phase right now. Like you said, embracing what is now versus what was, because what
Yes.
is could be more beneficial, could be more advancing, could
Yep.
be, that
Absolutely.
accelerated time. And so this was great. I'm not going to hold you up. I'm sure that those that are watching and will be watching, they have gained something from Miss Deasia Gooding, who is a
Yes.
phenomenal student and
Thank
business owner, scholar, uh, encourager. If you want to, if you want to say amen on the playback, it's all right because she's okay with that too when she was talking.
you.
So thank you so much for coming on. This was great, and we're
Absolutely.
definitely going to share this with the people. So, any last words, anything else you want to share before we close?
This was awesome. Anytime you ever need me, I am always here. I love you and the family. I thank you guys for
Yes,
all that you've done, all of the
we love you
support.
too.
And absolutely, I just, anybody who's watching, stay encouraged and keep pressing forward.
That's the word, everybody. We're the PENS program here with the PenPal program, and the goal is to have mentors available and have conversations like just like this. So we're going to see you again soon. We may be up here a little bit later. So Deja, thank you again, and have a great
Absolutely.
evening.
Thank you. Bye, y'all.
All right.